All right, folks, we got Brandon. Welcome to the Corner Store podcast. If you're something about, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share the content. What's going on, Brandon? How you doing?
Nothing much, man. I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me on. I do appreciate this platform and opportunity. We've had plenty of discussions face to face via text and other means, so it's good to get it on video so we can go back and rehash it.
I know. Yeah, because last time we was going back and forth over text messages, we was kind of had a disagreement as far as in a way players can kind of like go about it. I mean, your
Hmm.
your whole thing was, players, yes, they should use the platforms to kind of like get the messages out and also to have change and policing change in our communities and all that types of good stuff. But my whole thing is yes, they should speak out. I mean, these players, they got their own platforms now, right?
Hmm.
So my whole thing is do not use the NBA's platform because you're going to alienate your base. And we kind of seen that in this past NBA finals. It was the lowest rated finals literally in years. Still to this day, the 98 finals is still the highest rated finals in NBA history. I mean, we what 22 years removed from that finals, and and with LeBron with his star power, he cannot elevate the ratings to even surpass that. So my whole thing is, with them using the NBA's platform to like try to have these gestures, these messages on their jerseys, is going to alienate the fan base. And my thing is, I totally disagree with all of that stuff. And plus, you got the NBA. They're a liberal media organization that's pretty much kind of controlling their messages, which is kind of wrong. Even with Jimmy Butler, he didn't want to put a name on his jersey. They said he couldn't even do that.
All right, so talking about the ratings for the finals, yeah, the '98 finals, they probably will go down as one of the highest rated finals ever, mainly because we all knew that that was Jordan and the Bulls' last run, so everybody tuned in. Also, that they followed a typical path when we came to the NBA from June. With the whole bubble season and everything, a lot of people were out and about during the pandemic, doing other things and watching NBA season. So we can't really put this finals or even this NBA second part of the season um, into context with regular seasons. People were out and about doing other things, getting their houses in order, spending more time outside. So yes, these ratings were going to be low. I'm pretty sure that the MLB's ratings were low. I'm pretty sure that NFL ratings are low just because people aren't in the house as much as they were in years past. So that has nothing to do with LeBron. That's more of an NBA and just a timing issue. Now, as far as the social justice issues goes, and the NBA not allowing the players to use their platform, the players are the NBA. So therefore, that NBA is not just the owners of the team's platform; it is the players as well, who are putting money into the owners' pockets, who are tripling and quadrupling and 10 times in these franchises worth because of their play, not because of what the owners are doing, it's because what the players are doing on the court. So therefore, they have that right to voice their opinion and say what they want to say and do what they want to do, even with the NBA insignia behind them. I don't agree wholeheartedly that the NBA should not allow them to express their feelings. We've seen what happened with the NFL in doing that to Kaepernick. There was some backlash for that, and as we saw, and as we're seeing now, all of Kaepernick's concerns were valid. They were trying to silence him, and they did. They kicked him out the league. They blackballed him. But everything that he stated is coming to fruition right now.
Yeah, but why doesn't he have a job still? Because even prior to him kneeling, I mean, he still wasn't playing top tier starting quarterback type of games. And
You don't think
and
he's better than backups in the league right now?
yeah, but he does want to be a backup. He wants to be a starting quarterback. I
That's not the
mean,
reason he's not in the league. That's not he's not in the league because they owners don't want the backlash. That's why he's not in the NFL. And it has nothing to do with his talent. His talent equates to having an NFL job.
okay, so all right, we okay, we got two different arguments then, because you just basically just want him in the league, regardless if he's starting or sitting on a bench. But my thing is, I mean, he stated himself he wanted to start for NFL team, and no team
I
is
think
not
every
gonna.
player does. I think every player does.
I mean, yes, they may
Ryan
feel that
Fitzpatrick
way.
Ryan Fitzpatrick wants to start, and he stated that, and he's still on the team. So that
Well,
argument it doesn't
well,
hold weight.
Well, Ryan, he knows he's a journeyman quarterback and he's making like $10 million a year. So I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah,
And
he will be, but he still expressed if that was the argument of him wanting to start is the reason he's not in the NFL, then the
Mhm.
Dolphins would have cut Ryan Fitzpatrick as soon as he said he expects to be the starter. So any player that's in any position, any league that doesn't wish to put starter minutes or major minutes on the field or the court or whatever,
Mhm.
they probably shouldn't be in that league.
Mhm.
I think every player wants minutes.
Right. Now, like you had previously stated that the NBA players have a right to kind of voice their opinions.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't think it's a right per se. It's more of a privilege. I mean, if they want any type of social justice messages to like come out there, to me, they should just go through the Players Association. I think the Players Association should message all of their concerns and just put it out on like their selected press releases. I don't think individual players should be putting themselves out there because that's going to alienate the fan base because
But
clearly it's going to affect the salary cap next year and the following year. And we heard that Adam Silver say that he's not going to put no more social justice warrior stuff on the NBA courts and also the jerseys. So
yeah, and that's fine. But he did it. I don't think he's. I think he's just going along. He's not silencing the players. Him not going along and putting this going forward is fine. But I think if you have another uprising or more stuff that happens, I think you will see him do it. I think Adam Silver's been one of the more progressive commissioners of all the sports leagues as far as what they're putting out there. Hell, we saw the NHL put Black Lives Matters and stuff out.
which
So it's
which
not
which
just
is
an
a
NBA
mistake,
issue.
which is a mistake, a huge mistake.
Why?
And I wish
Why?
David Stern was still here because he would just put a he would put a fucking blowtorch to all of these social justice stuff that's going on because these players are too woke. I mean look at Draymond
People said the
Green.
same thing about Muhammad Ali. People said the same thing about Bill Russell. People said the same thing about Jim Brown. And yet now we're looking back on it. All those same people that were saying they were wrong for saying what they wanted to say and doing what they wanted to do. Muhammad Ali giving up the prime of his career to go to prison for not fighting in a war. He got backlash for that. But now they looking
Right.
back on it like, yeah, he did the right thing.
Right. He took a huge risk because he didn't have a corporation backing him. He was
Right.
pretty
But
much it was
but
pretty
he
much
still
him.
did it.
Yeah, I know.
And
I know.
he was still blackballed and blacklisted because of that. So
Right.
what makes the players now any different? You keep saying because of their corporate sponsorship,
Of
Nike
course.
backing.
Of course. These
But they're
players are
doing it.
making way more money off the court than on the court. So
Some of
of
them,
course,
some of them.
well, as far as the outspoken superstars, you got, Steph been saying stuff, Bron been saying stuff, Chris Paul been saying stuff. So I mean, these guys got shoe deals that's like paying them more money than the actual
Mhm.
NBA team. So yeah, of course they feel like that they are like taking low risk because they making about at least $50 million a year. So
Right,
that's
but with
why
that
that's
being
why
said, you
their
don't.
so-called struggle is different than Ali's struggle.
I don't think so. I think it's the same struggle that they just have more financial backing.
Right.
Their social struggle isn't any different. But I'm saying, so why is it wrong for them to speak up because of the amount of money that they made? And that's your argument is that well they're making too much to say anything because they're not being discriminated against because of the salaries that they have and this and that. And that argument doesn't hold weight when you look at there's still black men in America.
I don't
It
think
doesn't
it's
matter
a
about their bank account. It doesn't
I
matter
don't
about our bank account.
I don't think that they're speaking out is on good faith, especially with Braun, because I mean, I'm actually still trying to wait on the press release on who sprayed nigga on his gate in Brentwood. Now, this is the safest zip code in America, and there's cameras everywhere, and I still have not found out who sprayed nigga on this front gate. I'm still waiting on that.
Wait. The safe as the safest. I think OJ would to differ about
Oh. Okay, I don't think there's been a murder in Brentwood since
if I
1994,
recall
right?
correctly, there was a major. This is not a murder. This is a hate crime. It's not a murder. It's a hate crime, man. Like I don't think racism leaves you when you get a certain amount of money. And that's what that's showing.
Mm-hmm.
That. hey, I don't know who did it. He doesn't know who did it. Um, but just because you're black doesn't mean you don't get racism based on the amount of money that you make.
I mean, I
Like,
think he's
yes,
playing out
LeBron for the
the
most part is safe.
right. But
He's safe. His kids are safe, but he can speak up for the kids that aren't in his position that look like him and grew up and come from where he came from. So why
right.
not have that voice of somebody that made it away from where you were at and speak to them and speak up for them? Like, what's the problem with that?
Well, right. Well, coming from him, I don't think it's in good faith because he's trying to string on the emotions of the pro blacky blacks because like he said, he wants to be bigger than Ali. He wants to be a global icon. As I
He
stated
is.
before, in like our conversations, face to face,
Hmm.
he had he had a worldwide controversy come to him on a silver platter where he could have stood up and like did the right thing, but he chose to kind of like say that Daryl Morey, he was uneducated about the matter. Players could have been financially impacted, physically impacted, emotionally impacted. I'm like, come on, man, really? China is not trying to have no smoke with no NBA players and start a world war. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, and as much as China backlash in NBA, what did they do? They showed their championship game, didn't they? They
Oh,
still showed their championship game. They
right,
still showed the clinching game.
right,
So
because they, in so many words, told the players to shut up and dribble, and that's what the players did.
okay, for one, the China controls their content a lot more so than we do here in the U.S.
Right. And
Wrongfully
plus,
so,
there's many
and
sweatshops out there as well, that's making Nike gear, that's making LeBron shoes. So, yeah, they
mhm.
have all types of Chinese business dealings out there. So, I totally get it. But my whole thing is, I mean, LeBron acts like he is for the people, but he is all for himself. That's all I'm saying.
No, I don't think he's for himself. I think he's for his people. The same way Ali was when he said that, hey, I'm not going to Vietnam to fight when we got issues going on here in America. Let's fix these issues first and then worry about what's going on over there.
Mm-hmm.
So why should LeBron speak about something that's going on in China? And yes, and I'm not saying I agree with his statement about Daryl Morey and how he put players at risk and stuff like that. It is what it is. But he's speaking up for the stuff that's happening here.
Oh,
He
okay.
has done that, and he's doing that more so than any player in generations prior to him have done since the Kareems and the Bill Russells in the NBA. Nobody else spoke up. Craig Hodges spoke up. What they do? They blackballed him. Chris Jackson spoke up. What they do? They blackballed him. So I mean, you saw players have the opportunity to speak up to get blackballed in the NBA. LeBron chose to speak up. He, Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade. Now you got your Steph Curry's coming out and saying stuff. I don't see the issue with that. Like I
Okay.
don't see how that's a negative.
Supposedly, the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Bucks, they were willing to kind of like suspend like the whole playoffs.
Okay.
But
I don't believe
but
that.
I don't believe it either, but that's
Okay.
what they want to portray. And then supposedly, Brian made a phone call to Obama, and Obama, in so many words, told him, "Hey, just get back to work and just worry about this shit later."
And which may have happened. I don't believe they were ever going to not finish the season.
Right, but
Um,
but why did the media portray that? Oh, LeBron, he was willing to like boycott the playoffs because of his social justice stances. I was like, come
it
on,
wasn't just
that's not
LeBron.
what.
It wasn't just LeBron. Though. It started with Milwaukee. So let's put this on Giannis and those boys. You keep bringing up LeBron. The first team that said it was Milwaukee because of what happened in Kenosha. So
Right.
don't just put this whole thing at LeBron's foot.
Remember,
He
no reason.
owns two of them.
You froze up again.
Are you freezing up?
All right, you there?
I got you back.
All right.
Okay, got you back. Yeah.
Well, I mean, reason why I'm always gonna put everything on LeBron's shoes because he is the ambassador of the NBA. So the buck starts with him. You still there? You froze up a little
And I
bit.
I think that's your personal anything that happens in the NBA, you're gonna put at the face. Not necessarily LeBron's fault. Social justice issues aren't Giannis's fault. They aren't James Harden's fault. They are a 500 years of socioeconomic disadvantages in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So they continuing on in that same vein, even though they make money. And I hate when people bring that up, like, oh, well, they make money, so they can't cry about anything. They can't cry about racism and this and that. No, but they can talk about the injustices when it comes to the education system and how one's quality of public school education is tied to their parents' income level. So therefore, you keep the cycle going and going and going of poor quality of education for a public school, not private school, public school education. So when they bring stuff like that, when they bring police brutality up, that is an issue that affects our community, regardless of how much money you make. So Henry Louis Gates had a gun drawn on him at his home. Why? Because he's a black man in a white neighborhood.
In that situation, knowing him because he's a Boule Negro, he probably talks smack with the police. So that's probably he got that smoke. And even when they had that White House beer summit, the police officer still didn't apologize. He pretty much stuck to his guns. So
they always do. They always do.
Right.
They always do, unfortunately.
I don't think Skip Gates was like, hey sir, this is my home. I mean,
why should he when he's at his home?
I get it. I totally get it. But I'm pretty sure he had smoke for the police and the police responded the way that they did. I'm not saying that they're right for doing that, but I'm just not going to believe everything that the media tells me. But
but I'm not going to believe everything the police tell me from experiences.
Me knowing how Boule Negroes act in front of police, I pretty much know how things went down.
Well, how are you supposed to act? You're supposed to act like they the master, and you still the house Negro, and you like how are you supposed to act when you interact with police officers as a black man in America?
The power dynamic is pretty much on their side. So you got to make sure that you're going to be in a position which you're not going to challenge whatever's going on.
But I pay their salary.
Yeah, I mean, right.
They work for me. They work for me, correct?
Yes, but
so shouldn't it be the other way around?
But they have the power. They have the power.
No. Who works for whom?
We as taxpayers, we pay their salaries.
Okay, and who are they serving and protecting? Who are they supposedly serving and protecting?
They serve and protect property.
No. They're supposed to serve and protect everybody.
No, property.
Just property?
Yeah, property. Yes.
Just property. So, yes. So they shouldn't show up for murders and shit then, because they're just showing up for property.
I mean, police for the most part, they show up from reactionary crimes. They really don't prevent any type of crimes. They just react to them.
Well, their reaction is terrible then.
How?
Because apparently they only react negatively for the most part when it involves unarmed black men. Like that's what I'm saying. If you're saying that everything that they do is reactionary,
mm-hmm.
then they haven't been trained on how to react correctly. So I'm not understand. Like I'm still paying their salary, so they should approach me just like they approach somebody else who is of a different hue than me, that makes mm-hmm. the same less or more money than me. I should get approached with that same respect. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, of course. All right.
So why don't they? Why don't they?
I mean, I'm not in the heads of police officers. All I could just say is that, as a black man that had been pulled over before, all I do is have my license ready, have my registration ready, have my insurance ready before they even they get out the car. Because more than likely, when they pull you over, it's going to take about 5 minutes for them to get out the car, because they're going to run your plate just to make sure that mm-hmm. you're no fugitive or nothing weird's going on. So I have mm-hmm. everything ready by the time they get to my window, and I say, "Hey, officer, I'm not sure why I got pulled over. Is there a problem?" I mean, you just talk to them respectfully. I mean, it's instead of being belligerent. I mean, we are not dainty white women, so we can't cuss the police out and expect to get out, where like nothing happening.
It's not just dainty white women that do that. It's burly white men as well that curse them out, throw the tickets back in their face, and do everything else, and they don't end up dead on the side of the road, or choked out, or with a knee on their throat. So it's not just those dainty white women that get to go home at the end of the evening.
White men get that smoke too. White men get smoke too. Yeah.
Okay. As much as us.
I mean, if you want to look at the stats
on a percentage basis,
right,
not a quantity, because quantity, yes,
right,
but on a percentage basis,
right.
You think so?
I mean,
like how many personally, how many times have you been pulled out of a police car?
Pulled out of a car?
Pulled out of your car.
0.
to get out of the push.
Hey, you're breaking up a little bit.
5 times off the top of my head.
You kind of froze up.
Yeah, I mean,
You sit there. Hey, it seems like every time you sit back, every time you sit back, it kind of freezes up. But if you're sitting up, it plays better.
Okay, I will sit up more. Me personally, just not even really trying to think about it. It's been, I can think of 5 times off the top of my head for simple traffic stops or like a blown tail light, or it's not for me running through 20 red lights and swerving in and out of traffic. It's for going 7 or 8 miles over the speed limit. I've been pulled out of the car and searched.
And we're talking downstate?
No, it's happened in the Chicagoland area. It has happened downstate in Champaign when I was in college as well. It's happened in Matteson, Illinois. I mean, it's happened in multiple places. It's not just downstate Illinois.
As far as like pulled out and like roughed up?
Not roughed up, but like search, put on the car, search, pat it down, asked if I had weapons or drugs on me for a speeding ticket going 7 miles over the speed limit. So luckily you've never experienced that.
I mean, maybe because I got a veteran's plate, that's my shield per se. Maybe that's the reason.
Shouldn't be though. I shouldn't have to have that to be treated like that for going 7 miles over the speed limit. What are you expecting? If I'm going 50, then okay, maybe. Now I'm into that. Now
if you're just going 7, if you're just going 7 over, that's not reckless driving. So yeah, there was no need for that type of behavior. So I mean, it was just an asshole cop that you like encountered. So lucky for me, I never like encountered an asshole cop. So
I think you have. You just don't really realize it.
Well, they didn't treat me accordingly, so that's all I can go by.
Because this is the thing, I look at it like this. I know I'm an asshole. So when somebody's more of an asshole than me, it's like, okay, what the hell are you doing? Like, why are you having a bad day? Like, I'm seriously going 7, 8 miles over the speed limit. What is all this about? Give me my ticket, let me go on my way. Now, have I been pulled over and got
also like you was like questioning him or why he pulled you over?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It was just, hey, get out the car.
Oh,
what I do? Do you have guns or drugs in the car? Well, like seriously, one time I was pulled over and this was coming back from Champaign. I had on a suit and tie in a car, literally going, I was on 57 coming northbound. It was going like 71 miles per hour. Suit and tie on my way to a funeral. Pulled out of the car, searched, asked if I had drugs or guns in the car.
He probably thought you was like Freeway or like Rick Ross. He probably thought you was a drug kingpin or something.
That's what it was. Like, in my 96 Ford Ranger. That's what it was. That's what it was. My turquoise 2-seater 96 Ford Ranger with an empty tub trunk in the back. Yeah, that's what he thought. Like, there's nothing to search. There's no back seat. My seat hit the back window. Like, where am I hiding this?
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate, man. I mean,
and I say that to say this, that I didn't have the platform that LeBron and D-Wade and Carmelo and Chris Paul and all these players and Kaepernick and Eric Reed and all these players had. So I couldn't speak up to that extent. But now you got players in position with a fan base, with people behind them. And like you said, with financial backing, that is speaking up and saying, hey, this is the stuff that's going on, listen up. This is what's going on in this community. This is what's going on in my people. So what is wrong with that? Like I and you keep saying, and you said it multiple times about the NBA not using the NBA's platform. They are the NBA. There is no NBA without those players. Like the NBA, I mean, the Steve Ballmers.
These players make millions.
Aren't worth billions of dollars, but I'm saying these teams aren't worth billions of dollars without these players. They're not. Yeah. The teams are not worth this amount of money without the LeBrons, without the Kobes, without the Shaqs. They got their value on the backs of these players. The same way this country has gotten its value on the back of people that look like them.
Yeah, so, I won't call it on the backs of these players because they're getting paid millions. So these players aren't slaves per se.
They're not slaves, but they're not being paid a fair wage based on what they're bringing to the table.
A fair wage? Oh,
they're not being paid a fair wage of what they're bringing to these teams.
Oh,
Cleveland's value from when LeBron left to when he came back, and the amount of money that they took in, he probably should have been getting $150 to $160 million a year. If we're being real about what he actually brought to the organization. So yes, are they being paid above minimum wage? Yes. Are they getting what they're bringing in? No. They are not, because if they were if they were getting what they actually were worth, they would be fighting it. The owners would be fighting it. The GMs would be fighting it. They know they're getting. They know that the money that they're giving LeBron and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry is a fraction of the amount of money that they're bringing. They're making that money on fucking jersey sales.
Well, these players are not owners. So if they have a problem with it, start your own league. And then what Kyrie tried to do?
I'm not even gonna bring up Kyrie. I'm not a huge like Kyrie is Kyrie.
See?
Hey, I think I feel about Kyrie how you feel about LeBron. Like there's nothing he can do that I'm gonna.
Don't get it twisted. I mean, I don't hate LeBron. I mean,
yeah, you do.
He does great things as far as like the way he portrays his like his household, how he raises his kids. I mean,
I like the word usage.
I'm only going by I'm only going by what he puts out to the masses. So
I love the word usage.
Oh.
Portrays.
We all know what he does behind the scenes, but I ain't gonna say it out loud. But I mean, you know what? He is the best basketball player in the world. So what comes with that? A lot of perks. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But the worst NBA player in the world, he comes with a lot of perks.
Right. So I can't imagine what LeBron is doing with all those perks.
I'm not gonna speculate on what a man does with the options that I put before him. I would never do that. I'm just saying that doesn't mean that he acts on it. You're assuming. We have no knowledge of this.
Okay. All right. So let me give you like another example.
It's not a Mike Jordan situation. You know what I'm saying? Savannah's still there. Juanita left.
Well, that's because he wanted to go younger.
He wants to upgrade. I'm just saying, she put up with a lot. Same thing with Sean.
She put up with a lot? Really?
No, I'm just saying.
Being married to Michael Jordan, you got to put up with a lot? You got to just play your role.
Dude, you better hope no females watch this.
hey, trust me. my videos trigger my wife, so she knows all about these videos.
I'm just saying, and I'm not saying I don't agree, or I'm not saying I agree or disagree with you. But what I'm saying is that she ain't leaving LeBron.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Shaq lost his. You know what I'm saying? You got all these players in multiple marriages, multiple relationships throughout their NBA career. LeBron, no. He got 3 kids at the crib that he's helping raise, that he moved across country to put them in a better situation.
Right.
Because he wanted to see his son. That's why he moved to LA. He wanted to see his son play high school ball. So he's there. He's there so he can see his son, so he can see Bronny play at Sierra Canyon. You know what I'm saying? He's there with his little daughter. He's there with Bryce. You know, it's so I don't know what happens behind the scenes. Hey,
I don't know either. I'm just talking shit, but
right.
But
he might so what?
But like another example of how much of an actor LeBron is. Like, did you see that? Did you see that? Playing out like news conference about the reporter asking him about the autobiography of Malcolm X?
I did not.
You did not?
I did not. No.
Okay.
I will check it out though.
He had this planned photo op, right, in which he was holding the book, right?
Oh yeah, so, like on page 1. Okay, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. He was like, you know, I've been taking notes over the years, and you know, he was a good man, and you know, he was talking about the empowerment of the Negro and what was going on back then is still going on today. I was like, LeBron, you are full of shit. You did not read that damn book, man.
Okay, but let's say he didn't. And I think players and entertainers and celebrities are always put in those situations where they are made to do more than they actually do. But if that inspires somebody else to pick up that book, not only that book, but if it inspires another kid to pick up any book, was that wrong?
No, but he made it seem like that he just this like conscious, super woke, informed athlete, in which he's not informed at all. And actually,
why isn't he? Why?
Okay, prime example. The NBA had Black Lives Matter painted on a basketball court. So by them painting that on the court, I'm pretty much calling it the BLM championship for the Lakers. It's not an NBA championship; it's a BLM championship to me. They're playing for Black Lives Matter, not for the NBA.